Hey guys, and welcome to the second podcast of the Big Footy Brisbane Lions page. I have with me Bertman and Patful fan Kez. Say hi.
Howdy.
Hi.
We'll start off with the last game against the Hawks. It didn't go as planned, did it, Kez?
Yeah, I reckon that's got to be one of the worst days of my life, really. We'll start off with the beginning of the game. A lot of people were asking me, well, what happened with the banner and everything? And, a lot of people really commented on that, and I think a lot of people in both the Victorian and Queensland cheer squads need to learn to communicate with each other. And, if you're in Queensland and you're in Brisbane and you're not doing anything, go see if you can help out with the banner. There's not very many people who are working on it at the moment, so they need all the help they can get, pretty much.
Fair enough. People aren't volunteering, they're going to need some more help, so I see where you're coming from with that. What was your thoughts on Patful's game?
How about I just save that for later, because I got the rant pants on, I said, so...
Alrighty, what was your views on the last game, Bert?
Obviously it didn't go as planned as Patful fan Kez said. I thought Brown was really, really good. He lifted, kicked 4 goals, which was really important, getting some form on the road, but the midfield obviously wasn't as great as we would have hoped. The clearances weren't very good, and now I think Costa throughout the game. Also, if you look at Hawthorn, they had 222 kicks to 177. I think that could be indicative, as in the clearances we weren't getting the ball out and extracting it. In Hawthorn, they were constantly just getting the ball and going forward, obviously, and kicking goals, and obviously led them to win the game.
Yeah, that's a very valid statement about last game. I think in the end, the Hawks' class and maturity ended up showing. We were with them for the first quarter and a half to 2.5 quarters odd sort of thing, so we went for most of the game. Last quarter we got a couple of just, injury time goals in, like it was sort of when the Hawks have put the Q in the rack, so that's a fair statement, and hopefully we can back it up with this week's game of Gold Coast. But
yeah, one of the things I really seemed to notice was the boys had very little idea of where the ball was going to go, where they needed to be to get the ball. I don't know whether it's an experience thing or not, but the Hawks boys really knew where their teammates were, they knew where the ball was going to go, and it showed.
Yeah, in the end it definitely did show. They just, as a team, as they were in the grand final last year, it's obviously a good team, but as a team they worked together. We did for, as I said, 2.5 quarters or so, and then we sort of just died off. Brownie, as usual, was just on field amazing, and he actually put a nice game in his highlights package there. 4 goals, great. What's on there? Kez, what is your thoughts on this weekend's game?
We've got to win it. The Gold Coast are up and about. Their tails are up. This is going to be a real danger game for us, I think. This could get quite embarrassing if the boys aren't on top of their game and start making the same mistakes that they did last week.
Yeah, the Gold Coast this season have looked, how would I put it, just way more unified as a team. They are playing, they can hit their targets, they can run and handball, they can just do everything we can do, other teams can do. Against North Melbourne, I did not see that win coming. I thought North were going to hammer them, but in the end, Gold Coast nullified North scoring opportunities and just closed that game out. So good job to them. What, in your opinion, is the way we're going to win this weekend?
Beg pardon?
How are we going to win this weekend?
Our senior players, they really need to step up. I've got a list here of the players who I thought didn't step up last week. Guys like Jack Redden, he seems to be pretty quiet this season. He made some really silly mistakes on the weekend and didn't seem as influential as he usually is.
Yep, can't understand that.
Simon Black, I never thought I'd see Simon Black have an off day, but it seemed like he did have one last weekend. Let us hope that never happens again.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. That definitely he did not look his usual best. Like, that is out there.
Jed Adcock, I don't know whether it's the burden of being the captain, but he seems very antsy this season, and I don't know what's going on with him. He just doesn't seem his usual, star of self.
Yeah, well, he's definitely this season he's numbed down a lot compared to his previous seasons. I think that the role of captain is somewhat getting to his head. In my opinion, they should take it off him for a few weeks, but you can't do that. Unfortunately, if I was coach, I would. But that's my opinion on that. Bert, what's your opinion on players?
I thought obviously Richie Maloney really stood out for us, and they carried the team in a way to put on a competitive total of 85, but obviously that wasn't enough. But I thought Zorko was ordinary, McGrath was ordinary, Polkinghorn was ordinary, Staker wasn't great, Patford wasn't great.
Don't get me started on that.
The list it honestly went on because it was a disaster on Sunday. We really the senior players just didn't put us up, and it's very disappointing to see a player like Wilco struggle for 3 quarters and have a good last quarter, if you can call it that. But to see a player like Wilco do that, McGrath struggle, all those players who you really rely on up forward to apply forward pressure, to apply none of that, it's really disappointing.
Yeah, well, players who I thought would have actually continued a great run from last year was players like Zorko. I mean, last year I mentioned this last week, he was amazing. This year, he's having some really off games. Like, when he's on fire, definitely, he's great. But when he's having off games, he is very off. Kes, what's your thoughts on Zorko?
I think he's like a lot of the younger players, not getting the support that he needs from his teammates. Like I said, Jack, Jed, Joel, Ash, they're not giving the support to these younger players. And, I mean, these younger players don't have the experience, they're floundering. And these older players really need to step up, pull their socks up, and start supporting their younger players.
I think you also add Rockcliffe into that group. He was shot. I don't think he was terrible on Sunday. He looked lost, I think, a bit at times.
I believe that's his positioning right now, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. Our older players should not be looking lost. Like, okay, now I'm going to rant. Joel has looked very lost this year. I don't think he knows how to back up his best and fairest year. I mean, this is the guy who said, his best footy's in front of him. Where is it? He's just looked like he's cruisy, as he'd put it, and only seems to play well if the rest of the team stands up. That's not acceptable. He's a leader now. He should be the one, but other people are playing well because he's playing well.
And then with Pat not playing well, I think that also can affect Justin Clark in a way. That I didn't think he was okay on Sunday without setting the world on fire, but I think if Pat falls to play well, it would really give Justin Clark a good example of what he needs to do to become a top quality AFL defender.
One thing I noticed during the pre-season was Joel did have a lot to do with Justin, and if you read the Den Diaries, I think Joel's pretty fond of Justin. So he really needs to set the example and pull his socks up.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a big thing coming from you. I mean, you're basically his perfect fan. Like,
I try.
I'm sure majority of us on Big Footy would agree with this. Let's move to a better note. Rich, since coming back, he has been on fire. He has the odd off quarter, but since coming back, wow.
We need to clone.
What's your opinion on that? Yeah, what's your opinion on that, Kes?
Every time I saw Daniel Rich get the ball, I was just a little bit of me, a little bit of the light came back into my eyes, and I thought, yes, we've got something. Only, like I said, his teammates didn't really support him much. I think he was another victim of that lack of support. Yeah, I mean, you'd see him drop the eyes and everything, but where was everyone?
Yeah. Our forward line, apart from Brown, is just not functioning.
No, like, I'm just trying to think. There were a couple of times I noticed, like, a lot of the Lions players would go for, like, a big contest, and they'd have no one on the ground, so when the ball inevitably spilled out, the Hawthorn players just got it, went out the other side, and if we continue to do that against the Suns, they'll have a bloody field day.
Yeah. Well, the Suns, many have said, will have the fastest midfield right now. I tend to agree with that. Their midfield right now looks superior to a lot of teams.
Any team with Gary Ablett Jr. is going to look very superior.
I'm not even meaning towards Gary Ablett. I mean, Andrew Rains can hold him, if Rains plays it is.
Yeah, but they also have players like Prestia O'Meara, and both Prestia and O'Meara are in really, really good form, and they'll be really hard to stop.
Yeah, it's a pity. You go.
We'll go a long way to winning the game if we can shut down Prestia, O'Meara and Ablett, I think. Because around the ground, like, their tall forwards, I don't think they're that damaging to the point where they'll rip apart the game, and their tall defenders, Rory Thompson's had a really good season, but I really can't see their talls really hurting us, particularly in the ruck with Nichols.
Yeah, well, this game, it is our season-defining moment. Not much else you can say about it. Like, yeah, if we can stay in this match, and I consider it against the Gold Coast now, which is quite sad, they are beginning to show the traits of a top quality side. So if we can match it with Gold Coast this week, it'll give us a true indication of where we're at. Yeah,
but going on past performances that we've had against teams who are around us, I'm not feeling very confident. We can... I don't know whether it's a mental thing or whether it's a training thing, but we never seem to be able to, if it's a team that's lower than us, we seem to be able to, run, well, not even run roughshod over them, we just beat them. If it's a team that's, well better than us, we can usually pull a surprise packet out. But against the teams that are around us, I don't know whether it's just we're, getting overconfident, or we don't think we need to work hard enough.
Yeah,
that comes back to our leaders.
Yeah.
The thing that's annoying me is Rains not being included. That player can rip a game apart. Like, he's done it before, he'll do it again. But we're not playing him. He can tag a player out of the game. Like, if he gets picked this weekend, Ablett will have the games he usually does against the Lions, where Rains manages to just nullify any effect he has, which will go a long way to winning.
Well, but if we nullify Gary Ablett Jr., like was said earlier, they've got other players that need to be shut down as well, and I don't think we've got... I probably would go Jack Redden if he can pull his socks up on one of them, but they've still got a dangerous midfielder there, and our midfield really annoys me.
Yeah, our midfield is on and off every week, which is quite annoying, must say. Alright, we'll jump to the next section. Alright, do you want to go for your rant at Pat Full?
I sort of really had that before. Like I said, he's just been very cruisy, his intensity's been down, I reckon. There are a couple of times where he's just looked like a complete sitting duck out there. I don't know how much that has to do with Daniel Merritt not playing, but that's no excuse. He's a leader now, and if he's just going to play bad because his buddies aren't out on the field, that's not good enough. Yeah, he really needs to back up his best and fairest form, and like I said, he said before that his best footy's still in front of him.
I'd like to add into that, Merritt needs to pull his finger out.
Yes, some of the silly decisions he can make too. You just want to run out into the field and strangle him.
Yeah, that tackle on first gamer for North Melbourne, what's his name?
Magic Door.
Yeah, Majak Door. That tackle looked like he wanted to kill him. Like he grabbed hold of him and he slung him. Surprised he didn't get robbed out for that one. But then his tackle on the Essendon Hurley, I believe it was.
Hurley, yeah.
That was just dumb.
Yeah.
Deserved 2 weeks for that. Deserved it. And now he's out for what will likely be 2 straight games with his back injury. He's missing a lot of footy now. Just can't keep doing that.
The aggression is good. Aggression is good, but you've got to be smart about it. And that's what a lot of our players aren't doing. They're either not being aggressive enough, or they're being too aggressive. Justin Clark's another one who got a bit aggressive in that Essendon game and wore the cost for it.
Yeah, definitely. But I believe Clark didn't deserve his suspension for that. That was just a hard hit.
Clark was just going for footy.
Yeah, that looked worse on camera than what it was, in my true opinion. But anyway, we'll wrap this segment up now with Kez, what's your prediction for this weekend's game?
Well, I've tipped the Lions, but I reckon Suns by 30 points.
Bert, what about your opinion?
Lions by 17. If we can really, if our leaders can step up, if we can go harder at the footy than them, I don't see why we can't win.
Yeah, definitely. My prediction is Lions by probably 8 or 9 points, slightly more than last time, hopefully. Anyway, someone sent a question asking, what is your opinion on Patfull's haircut?
Oh, he should never have touched it in the first place. I told him that. Apparently, he had a moment. May there never be a moment again like it. Hopefully he lets it grow out again. It's actually looking okay at the moment. You know what they say about, shaving your head and your hair grows back thicker, so hopefully that's what he was thinking.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that pretty much wraps this week up, so Kez, any last comments?
As harsh as I've been on Joel, I still love you, Joel. You know I love you. Please just find what you had last year and go with it, please.
What about you, Bert?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty. With any luck, Joel will watch this and he'll go back to how he was playing. But anyway, we'll see you guys later, and goodbye.
See you
Thank
later.
you.